11.2, Day 2, we're looking at finding the terminal point of a vector. The initial point of the vector v, 4, 2, negative 1, is p, which is 3, negative 1, and 6. What we want to find out is the terminal point of this vector. So we want to find the terminal point q, and so q, we'll just label that as q sub 1, q sub 2, and q sub 3. So let's first, if we have pq, okay, the vector pq, remember that is going to be q sub 1 minus p sub 1, and then q sub 2 minus p sub 2, and q sub 3 minus p sub 3. So we can plug in what we know, and so we know that the initial side here, this is our p1, p2, p3. So let's write what we have. We don't know what q1 is, so q sub 1 minus p sub 1, which is 3. Then we have q sub 2 minus a negative 1. Then we have q sub 3 minus 6. And so knowing this, so let's simplify just a little bit more. Q sub 1 minus 3, q sub 2 plus 1, and q sub 3 minus 6. Now remember the vector here, that vector is 4, 2, negative 1. And so what we're going to do is you can set up an equation. So we have q sub 1 minus 3, and that's going to equal 4. Then we have q sub 2 plus 1, so that will equal 2. And then we have q sub 3 minus 6, and that's going to equal negative 1. So we just solve for each of these pieces. So we're going to add 3 here. So we find that q sub 1 equals 7. Here we're going to subtract 1. So we get q sub 2 equals 1. Then this last one here, we add 6. So we find that q sub 3 equals 5. And so the terminal point q is 7, 1, and 5. So go ahead and try this example here. The initial point of the vector v is 2, negative 3, 6, and p is 1, negative 2, negative 5. What is the terminal point of this vector? All right, if you tried it out, the terminal point is 3, negative 5, and 1.